Welcome to this video tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about diminished chords, and I'll be using Amazing Grace as an example. Now, if you haven't watched the earlier videos, I would encourage you to watch them because I'll be building on what I've already explained earlier on. So basically, these are not going to be the proper diminished chord. The full name is probably diminished seventh or something, but I'll just use the word diminished chords to describe the chords that I'm going to be teaching in this video. And they're pretty easy to build but very powerful, and they can be used in tons of applications. I'll just show you a few examples. So for example, if we were to build a diminished chord for C, the C diminished chord, we would know that's our C note. We just count 3 notes up or 3 notes down. For example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the C diminished chord. Notice how if we kept on going 1, 2, 3, we are back to a C as well. We could do the same thing counting down C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So no matter which direction you count, you'll still get the same chord, which is a C diminished chord. If you did the same thing for E flat, or let's say F sharp diminished chord, this is F sharp. Let's count down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the F sharp diminished chord. But notice how if we invert it and take this A and play it here, it looks exactly like the C diminished chord. So this brings a very interesting fact. The F sharp diminished chord and the C diminished chord are the same. If you did the same for E flat and for A, you'd see that all 4 notes C, E flat, F sharp, and A have the exact same diminished chord, and they form one diminished chord when they play together. If you did the same for, let's say, G and B flat and C sharp and E, they all have the same diminished chord and they form a diminished chord among themselves. So if we were to form, let's say, the F diminished chord, we'll take F, count 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the F diminished chord, which will be the same as the D diminished chord, and is the same as the A flat diminished chord, and is the same as the B diminished chord. So that's how to build diminished chords. Now I'll show you some of the few applications. There's a lot more. I'm just going to show you some of the few applications where you can use diminished chords. Diminished chords can be used whenever you are playing and the song stays on the same chord and you don't know what other chord to play. For example, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Notice how the F was played twice. How sweet the sound. I played the F twice, and instead of playing the F twice, you can play the F, then the second time around play a diminished chord. Now the trick here is to make sure this is your last note. Make sure the diminished chord makes this as its last note as well. So if we were to build a diminished chord, it will be this one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's a diminished chord you can play instead of that F. So we'll use it in the song. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Play it again. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. So what if I had played my F over here? I could still apply the same rule. So this F, I could play this F and apply the same rule. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Notice how that sound, I'm playing a different diminished chord to the earlier one I played earlier. The one I played earlier one is this one, which if we move it here, move this note here, this one, move this note here, move it this one, and this is totally different to this. So it's two different diminished chords, but they both work for the same part of the song. Just because I was playing my F here, that's why this diminished chord sounded so much nicer. The way I built this one is, remember this is your last note, and so you count 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the diminished chord, and I didn't play the F with the diminished chord because F is not part of this diminished chord. In fact, F sharp is the note which is part of this diminished chord. So I'm gonna play F sharp in my bass as well. So it will sound like this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. So that's one application of a diminished chord. We substituted an F using a diminished chord. We could have substituted a C as well because we played the C twice. Amazing grace. We could have put a diminished chord which ends on this note. That diminished chord is this one. So amazing grace, the sweet the sound. Now the next application of diminished chords, which I'm going to explain, is a little bit even tricky. I'm going to use diminished chords as passing chords. By passing chords, I mean like I'm passing from one chord to the next, and diminished chords help make the transition as smooth as possible while making the sound so much better. So for example, I explained to you how you can have the D play before the G. How sweet the sound, the saved a wretch like me. So we're starting on a D and going to a G. So instead of just playing D to G, which sounds boring, you can have a diminished chord leading up to between the D and the G. So notice how that sounds so much better. What did I do there? I had my D, and then I had the next note, which is an E. So I built a diminished chord which includes that E, which is this one. You should know how to build a diminished chord by now. Then the next note was this one. Why was this the next note instead of this? For two reasons. The note I'm starting on is a D, and the next my final destination is a G. So I'm gonna play as if I am in the key of D. You should know your scale for the key of D. So the scale for D goes. So this is why this was the note I played instead of this, which is actually in the scale of C. So whenever you're playing this chord, it's almost like you've switched from one key to the other and you're now playing in that other key. But we're still in the key of C, but we play the scale of D because the chord we were playing was a D. So the next diminished was built on this note, which is this. We can count 1, 2, 3, and we can count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then our normal G. So the same rule can be applied, but I'll let you do it yourself. When you remember, the A leads to the D. So instead of just playing a normal A and playing a D straight after it, you can put diminished chords in between, so it will sound like then you can have the D going to the G, which I explained earlier on. So I'm just gonna let you experiment by your own and build the diminished chords which are between the A and the D, but pretty much it's the same rule, and once you start understanding this, it will just change the way you play. So instead of just playing chords and jumping between one chord to the other, you can just put in chords in between. So what did I do over there? Instead of playing which is the normal diminished chord, but remember we can always make the chord as big as we want. So this is a note which is part of the diminished chord. So I play the chord, I play these 4 together, then I play the 5th on its own. It just adds so much more flavor. So we got a D, then we do the next chord, so all I'm just doing is just doubling up whichever note I've got here. I've got it doubled up here, so which is this one doubled up here, and then the last one is this. So that's all I have got for diminished chords at the moment.